I don't know if you all have been keeping up with the trophy wife Isis here on YouTube, her story, where she disclosed that her husband, well, she's alleging that her husband had essayed her early on in the relationship. And then she also said that he allegedly essayed the children that they have together. Now, from my understanding, she already had children from a previous relationship, but the ones that she's saying, alleging that he essayed, were the children that they had together. And so she then turned around and blamed Shira 7 for giving her the game backwards, basically. She ended up blaming Shira, right? Shira, I'm pretty sure you all know who Shira 7 is. She's a dating coach, femininity, hypergamy coach, teacher. She has a huge following. She has a lot of influence on a lot of women. I do know that much. And so all of that led me to a video here on YouTube where the content creator was talking about the cult-like following that Shira has and how Shira's supporters have attacked her in her comment section on TikTok and how they have even tried to get her TikTok page shut down, all because she has made videos pointing out what she believes are harmful ideologies and contradictions as it pertains to Shira's content. Now, for a quick disclaimer, I'm not for or against what Shira teaches because I don't mainly consume hypergamy, femininity coaching type of content. That's really not my thing. However, in my opinion, everything has a place. There are women, clearly, there are women that enjoy, that need, that require what Shira is teaching. So, kudos to all of those women. So, I don't have a problem personally, honestly, with any woman who teaches hypergamy, how to up your femininity game, level up, or whatever. But if you are a critical thinker like I am, and like the content creator who is lamenting about the attacks that are coming her way by Shira's followers, just for her having a difference of opinion. If you're like us, if you're a critical thinker, you're going to always ask questions, and people are going to always be offended by that. They are going to be offended by you being a critical thinker and asking questions. So, with that being said, there are many similarities from what I'm seeing, from what I'm noticing between real life cult leaders and their members, Jim Jones, Nature Boy, Elizabeth Clare Prophet. Those are just a few I can name off of the top of my head. There are similarities between them and social media influencers slash content creators and their followers. The similarities, the basic similarities that I've noticed are the psychological and social effects, the environment that they create, and their structure. All of those are similar. I don't necessarily have a problem with cults. Let me throw that out there because the term in and of itself is neither good or bad. And also because adults can do what they want to do. But when members of the vulnerable community, mentally and physically disabled people, pregnant women are extremely vulnerable. That's what makes them a member of the vulnerable community. Pregnant women, children, elderly, animals, even pets, right? When they are being harassed, attacked, or harmed in any way, shape, or form, that I do have a problem with when it comes to cults. Absolutely. So, with these cults, social media cults, and how they are similar to the other cults that we know about, you have the charismatic guru, teacher, influencer, healer, right? All of these terms can be used interchangeably, which makes this dynamic so interesting. They possess and wield a considerable amount of influence over people to the degree where those people develop an unwavering loyalty and acceptance to the teachings of their leader, teacher, healer, guru, or anything that comes out of these people's mouths. They have this unwavering loyalty and acceptance to. They don't ask questions. They don't disagree with anything they say, at least not to their face. At least not to their face. They take everything they say as absolute truth. It's like they become mindless drones that idolize, pedestalize, emulate the influencer's personality, how they speak. I mean, down to their cadence. This is way beyond inspiration with these social media cults, with these social media cult leaders, per se, gurus, teachers, healers, influencers, and their fanatical followers, this is way beyond inspiration. This is people becoming or attempting to become like someone else. And it is beyond cringy. I see it every day, especially over there on Facebook. This is also why they overlook their social media gods and goddesses' flaws. They overlook their hypocrisies and their contradictions because they want to become them. So of course they're going to overlook flaws, hypocrisies, and contradictions. But I have never in my adult life wanted to be another woman. I have never. I say adult life because I can understand children emulating older children. You know, you have younger children, 9, 10 years old, and they're emulating teenagers. I can understand that. But as an adult, no woman walking this earth has moved me in a way where I would want to become her. Absolutely not. That is weird and degrading, in my opinion. I can understand, women wearing similar hairstyles or nail shapes and lengths, even, clothing at some point. I get that. I can understand that. But I like what I like, and I do me. I don't care about what's trending. I stopped caring about trends in my early 20s when I started doing inner work. Yeah, when I started doing inner work, I've been stopped caring about trends. I wear whatever I want and style my hair, my nails, makeup, whatever, the way that I want, the colors that I want to wear. So I wear short hair, short nails, long nails, whatever attire I feel comfortable in, depending on how I feel. Not because it looks good on another woman. Absolutely not. As self centered as I am, as highly as I think of myself, please, please. But I digress. The crazy thing is, you can't critique these teachers, influencers, without their followers rushing in to defend them against criticism. You can't do it. You cannot do it. They become unhinged and start unraveling. And to Shira's credit, real quick, to Shira Seven's credit, I have not seen or heard of her egging on any of her followers. I haven't seen it or heard it myself. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I haven't seen it done where she has egged on her followers to harass and attack other content creators and other people. Because whether people agree with her or not, she's allowed to voice her opinions, teach on social media, whatever, have courses or whatever, like anyone else, because people willingly enter into parasocial relationships with social media influencers / content creators. I mean, it is what it is. Everyone has a right to do that. But there are influencers, there are content creators who purposely create flying monkeys to harass and attack anyone who disagrees with them, opposes their ideologies, or, points out their lies, hypocrisies, and contradictions. So these social media cults, one of the things that they do that I've noticed, they create an us versus them culture. Now, let me say this. When I started this channel defending my mentally disabled family member, I intentionally created a dichotomy between the people who abused her, supported the abuse, and exploited the abuse, and the people who genuinely cared for her well being and took some sort of action to help her. I purposely created a dichotomy between those two. And I did that to expose the truth and the lies, right? So that's different. With these social media cults, it's an us versus them. Us, the smart ones, them, the dumb ones. Us, the rich ones, them, the poor ones. Us, the enlightened ones, them, the ignorant ones, right? And that measurement is started by the leader, the teacher, guru, healer. And it's carried by the fanatical followers so that they can feel some faux sense of unity. I believe that's why they do that. And see what that does too is it alienates other people. And I see this with some of these faux sisterhood clubs, these clubs they have, groups and whatnot. Again, anyone outside the club who disagrees with their leader's thoughts and opinions are met with hostility and aggression. So, in addition to vilifying outsiders for disagreeing and having an opposing view, these social media cults thrive on exclusivity, us versus them mentality. And just like the Jim Jones cult, these social media cults, they're in an echo chamber. In the Jim Jones cult, you have members They were not allowed to access outside information. Same dynamic with social media cults. The influencer wants to be the end all be all for their fanatical followers. So, wanting to agree with, subscribe to, or absorb another content creator's opinions or even information from books, that is blasphemy to the cult leader, to the social media cult leader. That is pure, unadulterated blasphemy. Let them tell it. Anyone that has an issue recommending books is doing so because they've either built courses from the information that someone else wrote in the book, right? Plagiarizing an author, and or they want you to remain ignorant and dependent on them for information. They only want the information they're saying, they are giving to be circulated amongst the group in the club. So these groups, clubs, echo chambers, basically they consist of fanatics with like-minded opinions. And like-minded opinions aren't necessarily a bad thing, but when those fanatics, those social media cult fanatics become flying monkeys over opposing views, that's what makes them crazy. That's what makes the social media cult a cult, right? They become flying monkeys over opposing views, over differing opinions that are not in alignment with their God or goddess, leader, guru, healer, teacher that they are emulating, that they are hanging onto their every word, that they are worshiping. So, just like the Jim Jones cult, social media cults, they exploit people's vulnerabilities and they play on their emotions. There's a lot of lonely, desperate, insecure people out here who just need someone to talk to, who just needs to be a part of something so that they can feel seen and heard, so they can feel a sense of purpose and meaning and identity. And these influencers slash content creators, they know this. They know this because many of them are just as lonely, desperate, and insecure and needy as their fanatical followers. They too are longing for a sense of purpose. Oh, absolutely. Best believe that. They need just as much validation as their cult members do, as their fanatical cult following does. So just like Jim Jones' cult, just like he had members that acted as the police of the community, so do social media cults. You know how he would designate people to kind of rule and govern over the other members, keep everybody in line? These social media cults operate the same way. They're like the enforcers of the echo chamber. And what that does is creates a sense of fear of disagreeing. That's why earlier I said even if people do disagree with the leader, teacher, healer, guru, etc., they might not say it to their face. They won't say it to their face, even if they do disagree, because there's a sense of fear that has been created in this echo chamber like environment, cult like environment. So if you don't conform, what that means is that you are breaking the law and you are now the enemy and you must be treated as such. So, as with any cult that performs rituals, here's another thing. As with any cult that performs rituals, social media cults also perform rituals that consist of doxing. This all stems from them having people to police the members of the community, right? This consists of doxing, false narratives, trying to get people's channels taken down. All of that. All of that. The goal here is to cancel the nonconformists, cancel them out, cancel culture. So you have cultures and then you have subcultures that are birthed from them. That's another interesting dynamic here. So with that being said, I think it's important to approach content creators, influencers with a balanced perspective. Understanding that these are human beings with flaws, despite their subscriber or following count, despite their curated content. Approaching them as human beings whose thoughts and opinions, perceived lifestyles should not be overvalued. Other people should not be your blueprint, rather your inspiration if you're going to look up to these people. Go ahead and share your thoughts in the comment section, and please don't forget to hit the like button.